Hello, welcome everybody. My name is Phillip Maas, and I'm going to be introducing all the work up to this point in week 4. Right here in front of me, you see the skeleton turnaround. Now, skeleton turnaround helped me out tremendously, especially when I started learning about the 7 heads lengthwise and the 2.5 heads widthwise. There's a lot of things that I didn't know when it came to figure drawing, especially because I've never done figure drawing in my life. I did a lot of art classes, obviously, when I was in high school, and art's been a big part of my life, but I never took the chance to learn actual figure drawing. I always just kind of rolled with it and used reference images to build what I wanted. This is going to actually help me out tremendously, especially because I do have a cartoon that I've been working on. And even though there's not going to be a lot of human-like proportions, actually, I take that back. There will be a lot of human-like proportions. So this is going to actually come in handy tremendously when I do get to that portion of the cartoon. So yes, this was my first time drawing figures, but it wasn't my first time drawing. I did had to alternate between tablets though. I alternated between my iPad and my Wacom Syntec. I can't. It's hard for me to use the faceless tablet because I have to see what I'm doing, and it was really hard for me. So I had to adjust that. Other than that, there were certain things that I did find hard, like getting these lines completely straight when I needed them to, or just getting proportions right. Proportions were the biggest challenge for me, I would say, in these exercises. Um, as you guys will see when I show you the 30-minute sessions and the 1-hour sessions to the one I just did, there's been a huge upgrade, and that was thanks to Paul, especially with all the videos he was giving me, and I was talking to him outside of class to try to figure out if there was any other strategies, and I watched a few videos. So I'm going to move on and go into the primary forms, which was pretty cool. You know, it gave us a little more blocking out, and this actually helped out a lot when it came down time for the 30-minute sessions and the 1-hour sessions. Here's the upper musculature. Now I had a lot of issues with this proportions wise. Like I said, proportions were my biggest flaw, I think, when it came to this. But eventually, you know, I was able to adjust it and off of the advice that was given to me. Next is the lower musculature, and that is right here. And all in all, I think some of it came out good. I do have a lot that I need to fix up here, and I will eventually get to that. But this is the whole thing put together, and I think it looks really nice. I just need to bring these in a little bit more and stuff that Paul showed me again. Next, we're going to go into my very first 30-minute session, which was these ones. So I'll start with the 30-second. As you can see, they're all over the place, and I was just here and there and everywhere, and it just wasn't as clean as I wanted it to be. Here's 1 minute. Here's 5 minutes. Oh, where's my... Okay, here's my 5 minute. Something's going on here. Okay, so you got pose 1, which is, honestly, for me, it's tremendously hideous because I felt like I didn't know what I was doing. But then we have, okay, that's what I want to get rid. And then we had pose 1 as well. I had them a little wonky in here when they were named. I did get better at that as well. And then here is 10 minutes. You know, not too bad, but definitely not where I wanted to be at. Then the second session, I warmed up a little bit. Here's my 10-minute session. We'll work our way down. Here is the 5-minute pose 2. And you can see I started getting a nice outline, but it looks like from what Paul said, I was going a little too fast, and I was missing a bunch of stuff, which I knew. I started realizing that. And then here is pose 1 for that. So there's both of those. Here is my 1 minute. And then my 30 seconds. They were getting a little bit better and a little more cleaner, but that's not where I wanted to be at. So that was my first 2 30-minute sessions. And then we moved into week 3 and we did our first hour session. Now the hour sessions definitely were a lot different. As you can see here, I got a little bit faster. I was able to get joints in, stuff like that. And then Here's my 1 minute session. I was starting to block out here, which I did realize was a little too fast because I wasn't getting a lot of other stuff that I needed, which actually ended up hindering me in the long run, especially when I get up to my 25 minutes. Here's this. Um, and then oh, I missed my 10 minute. Here's my 10 minute. I really like the way my 10 minute was going. It was a very unique pose, so I was starting to get there. And then my 25 minute, I was proud of it until I did my last 25 minute on the next one, and you'll see why. This was a really good exercise, though. I do need to still work on my proportions. The arms were a little too long, and there was a lot missing right here that I didn't realize while I was doing it. And then on to week 4, which is this week. I just did these a little bit ago, and I'm super proud of these ones. So we're going to start off with 30 seconds. 30 seconds, I started missing the arms because I was focused on the body portion. I was trying to get everything that I could, but I started missing arms on the first portion that I did. But then I started getting them on the second. So it was basically warming up and then warmed up. And then we go into 1 minute poses, and my 1 minute poses were looking solid. In my opinion, they were looking very solid. And then my 5 minute poses, I felt like I was on the right track at this point. I had taken a lot in, and I got to my 5 minute poses. And I was like, okay, everything's looking really good. Obviously, I'm still missing stuff, which is, in my opinion, that's okay. But I got the main gist of everything here. Then my 10 minute pose, I started getting way more detail. I was able to get the outline of the form and the figure outlined. I wasn't able to get the hair in or the rest of the hand. I did mess up right here, and I put the arm when I did the outline too far up, and I needed to drop it a little bit. So I went ahead and fixed that. And then my 25 minute I'm super proud of because I was able to create this. And this is the furthest I got in a 25 minute. I was able to get the full shading. Some of the proportions were a little off to me, but I was able to adjust them with the shading, which helped out tremendously. Um, so like I said, guys, I learned a lot about the proportions. I think obviously I need to study a lot more on human anatomy and stuff like that. I did do human anatomy when I was in massage therapy school, so I did have an anatomy knowledge when I first came into this class, which definitely helped me out in the long run as well. And it will help me in future classes, especially because of like the character creation and modeling, sculpting and stuff like that. Because being able to sculpt the right proportions is going to make my characters that more realistic, where I need them to be. Well, everybody, I hope you really enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoyed seeing my artwork and some of the progress that I was able to make in the last 4 weeks. And I can't wait to see your guys' thoughts. Thank you guys for your time, and I hope you guys have a wonderful evening.